which means that people are hard-pressed to carry out some fundamental work that does not require a lot of money. All it means is the political will and a commitment from people to ensure that the voices of people who need to be carried in our arms are heard in this hemisphere and elsewhere in the world. Only yesterday, a memorandum of understanding was signed by the Organization of American States and the University of the West Indies Open Campus to help educators in the Caribbean region, English-speaking Caribbean region, to promote democratic values and practices in their classrooms, schools, and communities. We were also talking today about titles of property. If you recall, at the Intern Summit, as the representative of the United States mentioned today, at the Intern Summit that was held 4 years ago in Monterey, the issue of title to property and access to property ownership was a very critical element of the discussion that the heads considered in Monterey. At the end of the day, this organization has to not to reinvent itself, but to go back at what it has done in the area of human capacity building, in the area of institutional capacity building, look at the best practices in the hemisphere, look at those countries that have benefited, that have national institutions, that have projected them up to the top of the Human Development Index among developing countries, see how they have worked, see how they have been sustained, and see the role that the OAS has played. You might be surprised to know that certainly in my country, the issues that were raised in Dr. Singh's presentation have been dealt with over the years almost entirely with a lot of support from the Organization of American States in building human and institutional capacity. We had help from other entities also, from CEDA, from UNDP, from the Commonwealth Secretariat, from USAID, very part of a regional program, not national programs, because we've never really had a national program with USAID. But the point I'm trying to make is that this organization for too long has been moving away from the development agenda, only seeing the narrow confines of the political security agenda and the human rights agenda. But all of those issues that were discussed today are linked to programs of this organization that need to be better supported by our membership. So I want to thank you, Naresh, for joining us today, and you can be assured of the delegation of Barbados' commitment to work with your organization through the Organization of American States, and I look forward to further interaction with you and to see that this very important work is continued, not only for the benefit of the hemisphere, but for the benefit of the 4 billion people in the world who live in abject poverty. Thank you.
Muchas gracias por sus reflexiones. Tenemos ahora a Deborah Jo, representante alterna de Guyana. Adelante.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the delegation of Guyana welcomes Dr. Singh to this council. It gives us great pleasure to hear him and the points that he has put across to us. Mr. Chairman, several elements of Dr. Singh's presentation are in consonance with the emerging but robust debate within the OAS on democracy, the rule of law, poverty reduction, and inclusion, among others. My delegation, of course, has a vested interest in these topics and welcomes the opportunity to collaborate with the Commission in this regard. Once again, we would like to add our thanks to those of the other member states of this organization and to express our appreciation for the work that is being done by the Commission. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Muchas gracias, embajador alterno Nelson Pineda, de Venezuela.
Muchísimas gracias, presidente. En primer lugar, para agradecer al doctor Singh este informe que nos ha presentado sobre el empoderamiento jurídico de los pobres, y a su vez reconocer también al señor subsecretario general Albert Randín por haber estimulado esta iniciativa de presentar este informe en esta mañana. Conocidos es por todos en este foro que Venezuela le asigna al tema de la justicia social la prioridad de las prioridades de su acción de gobierno, sin caer en reduccionismos ni en determinismos. El tema de la justicia social es para el gobierno de Venezuela el tema fundamental. Por ello estamos obligados a reconocer en esta mañana y agradecer en esta mañana el que usted nos haya presentado este tema, el cual recibimos con bastante interés y esperamos que en una próxima oportunidad, y en ese sentido recogemos la propuesta que ha hecho la distinguida delegación de Perú, de que en una próxima oportunidad a nivel del Consejo Permanente y la SECCIDI podamos volver sobre este tema porque lo consideramos bien importante. Una primera observación, porque, digamos, por razones de respeto con nosotros mismos, estamos obligados a señalarla. Y es que el título, o con una palabra del título de esta ponencia que usted nos ha presentado, la delegación de Venezuela por lo menos tiene algunas imprecisiones. Y me refiero básicamente al término empoderamiento. No tenemos suficiente claridad y este es un calificativo que en la organización ya hemos adoptado porque en varios documentos nos encontramos con que utilizamos este calificativo de empoderamiento para algunos textos